connection to place, very, very important. So, a lot of kids that we deal with are actually, they actually live in the city, all right? They don't get out to the countryside. I'm sitting, and I'm using my knife as a triangle that goes like that. And we never cut in that triangle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because what's down the inside of our legs here? The femoral artery. That's a huge artery, second only to the carotid. And if you cut that femoral artery, and it's very easy to follow through, because when you're cutting, you don't really think about the follow through, and you get a little tough part, and then you like push, and then you follow through. And that follow through is when you're going to cut the inside of your leg. And if you nick that femoral artery, you're going to be dead in 3 minutes, unless somebody intervenes and gets direct pressure or a tourniquet on it. Okay?
I'm okay with it. I'm running barefoot. Can I do this in my backyard now?
So there's another technique you can use to dispel anxiety in the body. Because anxiety is just, it's getting a little technical, but the sympathetic nervous system takes over and increases your adrenaline and your cortisol. And guys in the army experience this all the time. All right, they experience it a lot. And like I'm afraid of heights. Heights gets my anxiety up a lot. Especially because I was a mountaineering instructor. And so being afraid of heights and being a mountaineering instructor, I was also a parachutist and stuff. So that gets your heart going a little bit. So oxygen actually gets rid of, dispels the adrenaline and cortisol. So if you deep breathe, you can actually get rid of that anxiety in a matter of seconds. So just with me, deep breathe in through the nose, count 4, hold for a count of 4, and breathe out. To walk around and just feel what it feels like under your feet.
Can we do tag? Oh, that hurts. Ow. Are we allowed to do tag? Are you allergic to me?
So what you're doing now is what our ancestors did on a daily basis.
I'm getting cold.
If you just walk and ignore it, pain is just weakness leaving the body. So just ignore it and carry on. I never used to believe it, but it happens to be true. You're grounding your bodies. You're taking all that negative electricity out of your bodies, going into the ground, and you'll find it very beneficial. If you do that during the summer, like every day, just for a few minutes a day, you'll find it very, very beneficial. Yeah. Anybody tell me what blue light is?
It's a light that's blue.
It's the light that comes off. It's the light that comes off screens, like TV screens, computers, tablets, and telephones. Right? Yeah. So that blue light, if you continue to look at it right up to the point where you go to bed, you haven't got a hope of having a good night's sleep, and you'll wake up tired. So just practice picking up a book instead of an electronic device, and read a book. That's the best way to get to sleep, is read a book.
I read a book every night.
That's good. That's awesome.
Just saying. I don't like.
It's an ancient way of connecting ourselves back to the earth, and there's no more simple thing you can do than to take your shoes and socks off and walk outside. All right? It's on.
I've seen massive ones of these. Massive what?
It's actually a symbiotic relationship between a moss and a lichen. So there's two plants in there. Yeah, does everybody know what symbiotic means?
No. Yeah.
Mutually beneficial means mutually beneficial, right? The good thing about usnea is that if it grows around where you are, it means the air is very, very clean, because they do not tolerate any kind of, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Pollution, yeah. Yeah, they won't tolerate any kind of pollution. So it will mean that the air is very, very clean. In BC, it grows like little stumpy one like that. It grows small here, but in BC it grows like 4 or 5 feet long. Wow. You want to take your paracord out of your backpacks, and then you can leave your backpacks here and come with me.
Wait, what's the paracord again? String.
Your string.
Hey, did you just get one paracord? No.
Paracord is because it comes off a parachute like that. All right, that's an army parachute, and so the parachute shroud lines, as they're called, comes down to the harness, and the soldier puts the harness on, and when he jumps out of the plane, it all opens up and everything's good. That's in theory. All right, so that's where this paracord comes from. It's the preferred cordage of people that work in the bush, like me. It has a very high, what we call tensile strength, so it's very strong for its size. So the way we do it, and I'm going to do it first, and then you're going to copy me. So the way we do it is, one way of tying this is just to, we put it over, like so. Pay attention here. You got to pay attention, otherwise you're going to miss it. You put it over, then you cross it, like that, and then you come up. There. That's a clove hitch. And that's quite a strong knot for tying on, for tying stick bundles together out in the bush, but it's also a mountaineering knot as well. So I'll show you one more time.
Okay.
You go over, come up and go across, and then come back up through itself on the same side.
I did it.
Not quite.
Oh. Like this?
Yeah, over, and then back up through here. No, 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 no. That's it. There you go. You got it.
Like this?
Let's do a little fire here. For instance, if I'm cooking, I just want coals. I don't want a big roaring fire. If I'm boiling, maybe I do want a roaring fire. But what reasons do we have for making fire, do you think? I've already mentioned 2. What reasons might we need a fire in the bush? Warmth, yeah. Yeah, if we're stranded, we might need warmth.
You wanted your tree back.
What else?
To cook food.
Cook food, yeah. Anybody think of something else? Yeah.
Scare animals away?
Scare animals away, absolutely. There's nothing like a fire to give you a little bit of confidence when you're on your own in the bush. All right, what else? How about keeping bugs away?
Oh, yes, because the fire kills
Well, the smoke keeps the bugs away, right? Yeah, so there's actually, remember what I talked about relaxation earlier on? There's actually a very, very powerful psychological effect of fire. And when you start a fire, so if you get to the point where you're lost in the bush, you just stop, make a fire, and you'll be happy as a clam. We've got our tinder, we've got our kindling, we've got our fuel. Okay?
That's fuel?
Yeah. So there you go. So can you feel that, how it's sharp on the back?
But I'm sure it'd be attached. Yeah, it would be attached.
Feel that burr? Feel that burr there?
It's not. Check your phone.
Just run your fingers across it like that.
We were together, right? Thank you.
Anybody know what temperature that spark is?
Like -200? No! I mean, no, plus 200.
No. No. Much more. 3,000.
Wow.
3,000 degrees. So your stove at home only goes up to probably 500 or 550. 6 times hotter than that. That's how hot that spark is at the point of ignition.
What?
Down on the ground, not so much. Hold my knife in place, and then move the.
Wow. Dang.
So you're dragging it across backwards from the. You always use the back of the knife. You never use the cutting edge of your knife because you'll ruin the blade. If you don't ruin it from scraping metal on metal, you'll ruin it by virtue of the sparks burning the edge.
That's why it's not lighting.
One of you should have success.
There's no way. I can't even do it. Sebastian barely gets a spark.
Hang on, stop. So the temptation is always to strike the thing too far away, all right? But if you have it too close, quite often you'll knock your tinder out the way. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Oh, dude, that's no room. Sebastian, y'all are scoop. Sebastian's talking. You can come over here.
Then when you do get a flame, don't keep striking. Oh, see, you knocked the tinder. But the thing is, hold your steel in place and drag the fire steel backwards away from it.
Wait. Can I try? Yeah. Let me just try. Oh, can I try after? I'm gonna try it. Supposed to bring it back.
And then we put that on 90 degrees.
Your hand is fireproof.
Well,
You did touch it and it didn't burn.
doing that a while too. Yeah, just get a little fire going.
It felt more pain probably. My dad said.
There. That's just going to be running out of a bit of time. The other guys are going to be coming soon.
Wow. Okay, I'm sitting over here.